First Chronicles, chapter 29. And King David said to all the congregation, Solomon my son, the one whom God has chosen, is young and tender, and the work is great. For this palace is not to be for man, but for Jehovah Elohim. And I have prepared according to all my power for the house of my God, gold for things of gold, and silver for things of silver, and brass for things of brass, iron for things of iron, and wood for things of wood, onyx stones and stones to be set, glistering stones, and of divers colors, and all manner of precious stones, and white marble in abundance. And moreover, in my affection for the house of my God, I have given of my own property of gold and silver for the house of my God, over and above all that I have prepared for the house of the sanctuary, 3,000 talents of gold, of the gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver, to overlay the walls of the houses, gold for things of gold, and silver for things of silver, and for all manner of work by the hands of artificers. And who is willing to offer to Jehovah this day? Verse 6. And the chief fathers and princes of the tribes of Israel, and the captains of thousands and of hundreds, and the comptrollers of the king's business, offered willingly. And they gave for the service of the house of God 5,000 talents, and 10,000 derricks of gold, and 10,000 talents of silver, and 18,000 talents of brass, and 100,000 talents of iron. And they with whom stones were found gave them to the treasure of the house of Jehovah, into the hand of Jehiel the Gershonite. And the people rejoiced, because they offered willingly, for with perfect heart they offered willingly to Jehovah. And David the king also rejoiced with great joy. Verse 10. And David blessed Jehovah in the sight of all the congregation. And David said, Blessed be thou, Jehovah, the God of our father Israel, forever and ever. Thine, Jehovah, is the greatness and the power, and the glory, and the splendor, and the majesty. For all that is in the heavens and on the earth is thine. Thine, Jehovah, is the kingdom, and thou art exalted as head above all. And riches and glory are of thee, and thou rulest over everything. And in thy hand is power and might, and in thy hand it is to make all great and strong. And now, our God, we thank thee, and praise thy glorious name. But who am I, and what is my people, that we should be able to offer willingly after this manner? For all is of thee, and of that which is from thy hand have we given thee. For we are strangers before thee, and sojourners, as all our fathers. Our days on the earth are as a shadow, and there is no hope of life. Jehovah our God, all this store that we have prepared to build thee a house to thy holy name is of thy hand, and is all thine own. And I know, my God, that thou triest the heart, and hast pleasure in uprightness. In the uprightness of my heart have I willingly offered all these things, and now have I seen with joy thy people, which are present here, offer willingly to thee. Jehovah, God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Israel our fathers, keep this forever in the imagination of the thoughts of the hearts of thy people, and direct their hearts to thee. And give to Solomon my son a perfect heart, to keep thy commandments, thy testimonies, and thy statutes, and to do all, and to build the palace for which I have made provision. Verse 20. And David said to all the congregation, Bless now Jehovah your God. And all the congregation blessed Jehovah, the God of their fathers. and bowed down their heads and did homage to Jehovah and the king. Verse 21. And they sacrificed sacrifices to Jehovah, and offered up burnt offerings to Jehovah on the morrow after that day, 1,000 bullocks, 1,000 rams, 1,000 lambs, with their drink offerings, and sacrifices in abundance for all Israel. And they ate and drank before Jehovah on that day with great joy. And they made Solomon the son of David king the second time, and anointed him to Jehovah to be prince, and Zadok to be priest. Verse 23. And Solomon sat on the throne of Jehovah as king, instead of David his father, and prospered. And all Israel obeyed him. And all the princes and the mighty men, and all the sons likewise of King David, submitted themselves to Solomon the king. And Jehovah magnified Solomon exceedingly in the sight of all Israel, and bestowed upon him royal majesty, such as had not been on any king before him in Israel. Verse 26. Now David the son of Jesse reigned over all Israel. And the time that he reigned over Israel was 40 years. He reigned 7 years in Hebron, and he reigned 33 years in Jerusalem. And he died in a good old age, full of days, riches and honor. And Solomon his son reigned in his stead. Verse 29. And the acts of David the king, first and last, behold, they are written in the book of Samuel the seer, and in the book of Nathan the prophet, and in the book of Gad the seer, with all his reign and his might, and the times that passed over him, and over Israel, and over all the kingdoms of the countries.